What lies beyond the certificate?
So thank you. Thank you for doing this with us. Please
You're
do
welcome.
introduce yourself.
So my name is Ikmat Anoluwapo, a penultimate student at University of Ilorin, Faculty of Education, studying Education and English Language.
Wow, education and English language. That's your choice, or you were given that at the beginning?
That was my
That was your choice. Well, can you please tell me why you chose that?
Alright. So I was what you call a sort of brilliant kid when I was in
Wow,
secondary school. And I love language
great.
actually. I love to read and I could write. Even though I wasn't doing much of writing, but I loved language and I did well in like English language. But because I could do well in other subjects too, it felt more like I was an all-rounded student, except in maths. And when I was writing my YEG and I wanted to register for UCME, there were suggestions that, oh, I have to like study law, I have to study law because of course everybody thinks like if you're in the humanities, of course, and you're a bright kid, the best thing you can go for is law and nothing else. But then I know I love language and something that comes easy for me, something that I am willing to do is language. So if I look at the voices around me and I decide to study law, I'll be doing myself a lot of harm than good because the prospect of being a lawyer does not excite me. And right from secondary school, I never even really liked government. So if I had followed the voices of people, even though they were like people that were important in my life, my teachers, my guardian, my parents, if I had followed what they were saying, I would always have myself to blame after every class because I would be going to class and be frustrated. But I felt like, okay, I love language. So I would just go for what I know that it will give me a great sense of fulfillment, much more than me just being there because the society around me would applaud me for doing what they like want me.
It's one thing to think you are smart, it's another thing to be smart. I must actually give that to you. So the question now is, okay, you were growing up, you had the privilege to choose this course yourself, and you were not pressured too much to do something else.
Yeah.
That you had that free will to do whatever you felt was good at the time, and that's actually a very good privilege. But one thing I want to ask that is, when choosing this, what career do you attribute to this particular course? What do you see yourself doing in the next 3, 4 years? Did
All right. So when I chose education and English language, uh, it was I was going to be a lecturer
good.
because I like love to teach and everything. So I was thinking that okay, if I do education and English language, probably going to like get the masters and then I would lecture. But now I feel like things have changed.
Yeah.
Not like I do not want to lecture anymore. I still teach and I still like love the feeling of teaching. I still love to teach.
Yeah.
But I feel like now I'm leaning more towards counseling and psychotherapy.
Oh.
So now I'm I'm already in degree and I cannot drop out, obviously. So I have to like, of course, like see this through and maybe like get a master's in psychotherapy or guidance and counseling. And, with my background in education, I could work as a counselor in a school. I could use my background in education. If eventually I still want to like pursue it, I could probably do some courses on educational management and, start up a school.
Wow.
Yeah. So I feel like
That's correct. If you had not mentioned starting of the school, I would have asked you if you've not been quite aware of what's actually going on out there. There are thousands of graduates every year, and with that are smart, that are ambitious, that have respect and all. And government, let's say the environment is not that encouraging. That is no provision for them to put what they know, what they've learned in university into use. So I'll ask this. Do you think Your degree is equivalent to success. Coming to university to have a degree, do you think that is equivalent to success? That coming to school to obtain a degree, I must be successful because I have all the degrees. Do you think that's the case in this country?
Uh, Coming to school to get a degree
Yeah.
does not 100% equate that you're going to be successful,
Good.
especially be successful with the degree.
Good.
So maybe the relationships you built while in school, the connections, maybe a skill you picked up while you were in school, maybe a personal skill you developed while you were in school is going to like eventually help you to be successful. But every time it is not always the degree that would, equate your success at the end of the day. I don't think it works that way
Now,
for everybody.
but what do you think? What do you think the rate of this is when related to the whole what do you call it, environment of students? Do you think a lot of people still believe that? Because what we see now in Nigeria is people out there lamenting to the fact that there is no job opportunity, whereas they have nothing else to offer aside from the fact that they are
Yeah.
graduates. You understand that they are like, I am a graduate, I went to university, I obtained a degree, they told me there will be a job, and now there is no job. So do you think in this present time, people still have that mentality? Do you think we have more of individuals that believe what you believe, or there are more people that are still of that old mentality of getting a job immediately after?
I feel like everybody now has their eyes open and they can see that, oh, there's no job.
Okay.
About 90-80% of everybody on campus has a business, a
Good.
side gig, something that they are doing, because obviously there is this rise of youth, even aside from the fact that there is no job after graduation, there's this rise of something among the youth where they don't want to like call home to ask for
Good.
giving money and the like. So it feels like they are already seeing themselves as, I am responsible for myself.
Yeah.
So they already like start up a little business and side gig, something that they believe can sustain them. And then they believe that, oh, school is even sort of holding them back from fully expanding their business. And so when they graduate, they can pour themselves into their business and, upskill and all of that.
Thank you for on this particular discussion. Do you think the educational system has anything to do with what people believe to be the right thing to do? Because what we see in the environment now is, as much as we have people that are into business, there's this high expectation that they still have to like do, they still have to like get a job after. I think there's this misconception. I won't say misconception because it's used to be like going out of university, you definitely get a job. So do you think there's something that we as individuals need to do? Do you think there's something that the educational system needs to do? Do you think there's something the parents need to do in order to make this effective? If we have individuals that are critical thinkers, people that can actually look into the environment and identify a problem and create job opportunities for people there, what do you think we as individuals should do? Let's start from there.
Okay, I feel like there should be orientation right from the most basic level of education. People should be made to see that here, while we are educating you, we are not confining you to the four walls of the classroom.
Good.
Now, currently, I feel like 80% of people that come to the university, they come here because it's like, to them, it's like something they have to do.
Good.
Something that it's just like you have a task on your to-do list and you've been promised, you've been promised a reward that if you finish your task, you get and so you just want to do it and mark it off your list. When in the real sense of it, it does not really add more to who you are. It does not really like bring a lot to you personally. If you know that it is not something that would help you in the long run, why invest a minimum of 4 years of your life doing it? So I feel like we should help, like from the level of them being pupils to when they get to junior secondary school, senior secondary school, we should help them to like build skills.
Good.
It does not necessarily, by skills, I don't mean necessarily they have to like learn fashion designing or something. There are people that can they are just gifted, they can create, like help them to be able to see how they can use these gifts, this natural gift that they have to like solve problems. Okay, so I said I used to write like when I was in secondary school. I didn't do much of writing, but then I used to write. If I had been pointed towards the fact that I can actually do something, then I could not say that I want to be a writer. It felt like that's not a
That's
future
not,
ambition. That's not an occupation.
yes.
Why would you want to be right?
It's not like
Do you want
something
to
you
sell a
do for
newspaper?
fun. Of
Abi?
course.
But now writers are making 9 figures, 8 figures. If there's something called 9 figures, yeah. But then I didn't have what it takes to say that, oh, I love writing. Even if I love writing, they will tell me to use it in English composition class. I'm using it to get 10 over 10 in my
Yes.
assignment or
Yes.
test. So there are things like that that people can do, but they've been made to not look deep into it, not to even talk of saying how much they are good at it. And of course, they just have to come here and get a degree. So I feel like if we can help people to see a particular problem solving skill that they have and help them to like harness it and see how they can use it to help the society, it will do them that have the skill favor and also be like doing the society at large a favor.
Thank you so much. One thing I actually enjoy in these conversations like this and other ones is the fact that I try as much as possible not to bring up technological skills, because that is what most people believe to be the right, let's say the option to go, like the other option. Whereas, just like you've said, I believe in the fact that almost everyone is gifted.
Yeah.
And we have something that if we had no choice, like that is the only thing you are going to do for the rest of your life. You're actually not going to regret a day doing it, because it's actually something that we
enjoy
doing it.
Yeah.
So there is not a system. The family, they don't have what it takes to like sit them down, look closely, and try to like help children identify this particular trait. The school are not doing this thing. The education system as a whole is not encouraging that. They just want to, what do you want to study? You want to study medicine? Come. Study medicine? Go. You want to study this? Come and go. So I believe it is not just about tech.
Yeah.
That's what a lot
That's
of
the new.
yeah, that's the thing. Everybody just wants to go into tech.
Yeah.
Everybody just want to. What happened to business? What happened to, just like I've said earlier, there are lots of problems out there that you can actually monetize by creating solutions to it. So for you, do you think tech is above all? Putting university degree aside, do you think tech is above all other skills? Because I deduce from what you said that it is not necessarily important for a child to learn tailoring. I believe tailoring is not a bad thing. It depends on how you do it.
Yeah.
So, but there are people out there that believe that it's a local. They even go to an extent that I'm not a tailor. Even though that I'm not a tailor, I'm a fashion designer. I believe everything is about branding. But do you think there is this hierarchy? Do you think this being a tech person is above learning all the vocational skills?
I feel like for everybody, your access to technology is just like your leverage, the amount of leverage you have over other. Yeah. So I think I would say the mass media, the social media, they're under technology, right?
Yes, sure.
So if I'm a fashion designer and I sew at the back of my house, and of course I am confined to the back of my house, and just people around me can see me at the back of my house, and that would kind of reduce my earnings. But if I'm a fashion designer at the back of my house, but I decide to infuse technology into what I do, so I take pictures or make videos of how I do my job, just for people to know that I actually know my onions and I do my job well, and then I put it out there, then I can probably get people that are not even within my vicinity to show me. Yeah. So it's not like technology is the overall.
For me, I believe it's actually a means.
Exactly.
Like
it's a means
to like achieve whatever you want to.
I say I write. Yeah. If I just write and I keep keeping whatever I write in a notebook, It's probably when I die that people are going to like
Of course.
see my writing when they are looking for something in my luggage or something like that.
Right.
But when I write and I put it on social media and I put it on social media, that is when I'm probably going to like get recognition, get clients, get people to say, oh, you actually do this and you do this well and we need your service. So everybody does not have to be like a software engineer
Right.
or learn coding or I feel like technology is broader than what we are limiting it to be. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So, what would be your one advice to children in basic? What would be your that one advice? You can actually take it one step at a time. What would be your one advice to people in basic? What would be your advice to children in secondary school? And what your advice to undergraduate and as well to the academy?
Okay. I think one thing that would work for everybody, irrespective of your level of class, irrespective of your level of class
Okay.
or age or anything, is that you find yourself.
Hmm.
If you find yourself, doing a lot of things become easier for you. It is when you find yourself and you know yourself that when you get advices from people you respect so much, people you know that they cannot do you harm. But there's times that they don't mean any harm, but at the same time, the advices that they give you, the things that they instruct you to do, it is not aligning with who you are. And you just have to like, for that moment, say, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to take your advice. And then you step into who you are and do the things that actually work for you. Like before this school resumed, like after or before proceeding year, my mom said, oh, I have to go learn fashion designing. And all my life growing up, I stayed with a fashion designer and I was the only one that did not know how to cut and sew. And you are asking me again to go back and learn fashion design. So I'm not doing this, but you want to do with African mother too.
Yeah.
I had to like go and I spent about 8 months of my life. And right now, I hate scissors.
Wow.
I cannot do anything
You
with
don't just like
I
it.
don't just like it. I cannot do anything. I cannot cut. I cannot sew. I just wasted 8 months of my life. And now I started ghostwriting and I graduated from a ghostwriting school December last year. And this year I have completed a short story, ghostwriting of course. And there was this project that was halfway done. I had to like complete the last 5 chapters or so. I've done that also
Wow.
this year. That makes it 2 jobs that I've completed this year.
Wow. That's impressive.
That is who I am. A writer is who I am.
You found yourself.
And I found myself and I put myself into it. And irrespective of whether nobody believes that I can earn as a writer until I actually like started earning. They all wanted me to like do something they could see and hold. Like, but you know, when you're a fashion designer, people can see that, oh,
Yes,
she's
it's
sewing every day.
products.
But when I'm writing, I write on my phone. It made me look like a phone addict.
Oh.
Like, she's just always on her
Always
phone.
on
What is
her
she
phone.
doing? She's not even saying,
Really?
we told her to learn this one. She says, no, she's not.
That's not the point.
People don't always have to agree with what you are doing for yourself. Once you know within yourself that this thing I am doing for myself, I am certain I'm not messing up my life. Just do it. Just do it.
And to the parents, what do you think? Just like you said now, your parents still believe being on the phone is like you
Wasting
the time. So what do you have to say regarding that? How should parents handle their children as regards their career choice? And how should the children to behave? Like you said it earlier, you had the privilege to choose what you want to do. You're not being pressured to do it. You're not being pressured to do something otherwise. Meaning that the environment was kind of conducive for you to make that choice and decision. But there are people out there that do not have this privilege. But what do you think they can do? Do you think they should just get influenced with the factor of that you must do this, you must do that, or there's a way they can actually go about it?
I feel like in situations where you are very constrained and your parents are sort of authoritative, you need a lot of convincing to do. You really have to like assure them that what you are doing is like right for you. You really probably have to like go behind, create some masterpieces and show it to them and let them see that, okay, when I said this is what I want to do, I don't mean I want to be playing around. I actually like want to do this and this is not like a play or something that I'm trying to like fool around. Yeah, this is actually something tangible, something that makes sense to me, something that really means a lot to me. So that's like on the part of the child, you really need to like do a lot of convincing. You need to keep doing what you are doing and let them see that you are good at it. And of course, you show them evidences that you are good at it. And to the parents, I think I'm going to say that parents need to like probably take a chill pill sometimes. Honestly. They need to like relax. The fact that they were pointed to everything they had to do in their life and they did it and they were successful does not mean that it is like that for everybody. If the basic human being, if it is possible for human beings to have differences in food choices, then how much more my entire life, my entire being? If you can agree that I don't take fish, but my sibling take fish, and you can let us not take it, why can you not let him take decision that, oh, okay, she thinks this is what is best for her? And I'm not saying that once the child say this is what is best for her, don't interrogate or do, but just look into it. Don't be so fixated on the fact that no, they said once I'm in the humanities department, law is the only thing you can study, and you're going to study that law. Don't tell me about mass communication. They should take time to actually look into the things that we are saying and be certain that this person is not just spewing rubbish before you now decide that you are going to or not allow the person to do it. So I feel like they should probably sit back, do a bit of research on the things that we are saying before they totally condemn or comment what we are saying.
Thank you so much for doing this. I can actually sit here and have this conversation all day. Thank you so much for doing this.
You're welcome.
Beyond the Certificate is more than a project. It is a movement. A movement to rethink success, rediscover purpose, and prepare young people for life, work, leadership, and impact beyond the classroom. And the discussion begins with you.